Good morning and welcome back to Miniature Monday here on Gaming with ADHD, where, sorry, cameras are updating and screens are updating. What is going on? Mass hysteria, dogs and cats living together. Anyhow, so, sorry folks. Sorry about being a couple of minutes late. I woke up about an hour ago and I have been rushing furiously to make sure that I am ready for this stream. So I clocked off this morning from work at 69 and a half hours for the week. And I'm exhausted, but somewhere around, I think 2 a.m., I get a message from what has become a good friend. You may have seen him in chat. You may not. He hasn't been around for a little bit, but he's been busy. Had some big life changes, and I check in with him from time to time, and he's doing well. Until today. And he messaged me saying that he's not going to be around for a little bit because he has to help his dad because his mom passed from a sudden illness. Didn't give me any more details than that. Didn't ask for any more details. But so for me, I don't write long, fancy messages of comfort. I struggle with how to be there for people. Good morning, Silent Mouse. How are you doing, my friend? But I struggle with, trying to give those words of comfort, things like that. And I usually just say, how can I help? What can I do? Which is frustrating because then it puts a burden on the other person that they have to come up with something for you to help. What's going on, Silent Mouse, is that Steve Cross lost his mom this morning. In addition to some other struggles that he's been having, he's doing okay, but, he lost mom. So, anyway, so my point being, I'm bad at doing things. And it doesn't help when the person is literally on the other side of the planet. So, I have decided that I can do something to at least... I mean, it won't necessarily fix it doesn't fix the situation. It doesn't necessarily cheer the person up, but... The whole point to this stream is that I want to do something for somebody who's become a friend through the channel, and just be able to, do a little something that might bring a smile to his face. I hope. So, anyhow, I haven't lost anyone. I mean, the closest was my grandparents, but it's grandparents. That happens. I mean, both my parents are in their 80s. My dad has Parkinson's, although you almost wouldn't know if you didn't know what to look for. So I am absolutely blessed in that regard. But so today, basically I'm just gonna let me give a little bit more backstory. So And this is part of why I want to do this. So last fall, as you all know, I had my 25th anniversary, and I got to go to England for my anniversary. Now, just before that, Steve Cross had sent me the file for this miniature. I forget what it is. It's a redesign from something that Matt Plog drew, and he didn't like the design. He wanted a better one. Blood Spirit. This is a Blood Spirit. This is a Blood Spirit. Anyway, so since Steve had sent me the file, and I was actually going to be lucky enough to meet up with Steve in England, I decided that I was going to paint this miniature for him in a style that he would like. Blood Kite! Oh, I was almost there, Steven! Anyways, so this is... So I painted this up for him, and when I got to meet Steve in Cork, and he volunteered graciously to take Kim and I around and see his city and spend a day with him, and it was literally one of the best days I've had in a long time. And so with the events of this morning, and Steve, I told everyone, if I wasn't supposed to, I'm very sorry, sir. I wanted to do something, and so I'm gonna fill out the star. So that's what we're gonna work on today. I have three of the four miniatures he's asked for ready. One of them, the legs keep failing on the print, so I'm gonna try once more, Steve. If it doesn't work, I'm gonna make you replace the Fire Scorpion because it's a turd. So, anyways, so okay, you know what? Let me switch over. Okay, so we got this. This is a Stooping Hawk, which I don't think I've ever even heard of. Here, let me switch back over to this. And all right, so he asked for a Stooping. Oh, that's what I wanted to figure out. What was the prime and what was the C? Okay, so all right, so we got two Stooping Hawks. Got, I think this is the prime. Yeah, this is the prime, and this is the C variant. I know you can't really see the detail very well at the moment. So, good morning, you're wrong. And then he wanted this version of a Black Knight. So we've got that. The other mech to fill out the star would be a Fire Scorpion, but as of right now, I don't know. Okay, so you're wrong. All right. Don't think of this in terms of like Warhammer. Okay? There are kind of like faction stuff, honestly, take the mechs that you like, and essentially it doesn't officially matter. Start with what looks cool, Then go to masterunitlist.info, and then you can figure out what the points are, and then figure out how much like you and your opponent should determine, how much battle value you're playing, so how many points you can take. But outside of that, literally take what you want. We played a game on Saturday, which, oh my gosh, Steven, we're talking so much this morning and I never even sent you those pictures. But you'll do, hey, you're very welcome, Steven. Have a wonderful evening. Well, get some rest. That's what I should say. See, I said in the beginning, I'm bad with words. Anyways, I hope things go a little better for you, sir. I really do. So yeah, these are going to be Clan Blood Spirit. I forget what unit, but this is what it's going to look like. Bad with words, good with brush control. Thank you, Steven. Anyhow, and best part is these are also even going to look a little they're going to look a little different, partly because it's been 6 months. No, it's been a year. Holy crap. It's been a year since I painted that blood kite. But then also I'm using different paints. So we'll see how well these match up. But anyhow. So yeah, James Earl Jones. So I no, it's not. I didn't mean that. It's just interesting. I don't really buy into mourning the passing of celebrities. Not that I dislike them or anything. I just it sucks that we won't get to see more of them. We won't get to see them in movies. But it's just it's not sad that you remember me painting the blood kite, dude. Silent Mouse, okay. Here's part of the reason that I'm doing this for Steve. Okay. My channel was still under 1,000. I hadn't gotten to monetization yet, which, let's be honest, monetization ain't that much to talk about, but oh my gosh, the ADHD is on fire today. Six World, I would say you weren't so much sad about Alex Trebek. You're probably sad because it was reminding you of grandma. I get it, but it's what are those memories that it brings back to you? Is my theory. I could also be talking out my ass. I don't know. But yeah, so Silent Mouse, you and Steve Cross, and I think Six World actually. So I was trying to get my watch time up. I was just trying to do something different. And so I went in and I decided I'm like, you know what? I want to paint my miniatures. So I'm just going to go live and I'm going to paint my miniatures. And I believe Steve Cross was the first couple streams were hard. I was all alone. I didn't have anyone to bounce. I didn't have anyone to bounce ideas off of. Oh, Mundo, I got your text messages. I just haven't read them yet because I wanted to be conscious. It's like I know they're there, but I'm not ignoring you. I'm just waiting until my brain works. Oh my gosh, we got Flan Man here. So we got Flan Man, we got Malachi. Malachi, I never said hi. I'm sorry, sir. So I remember the early streams, and we could probably go back and watch them because I haven't hidden anything. I probably should follow Max Liao's lead and any paint stream that's more than a month old, just set it to private or something, or members only or something. I don't know. It says it helps with your content in the algorithm. Anyways, so yeah, that's awesome, Silent Mouse. So yeah, I remember the early streams. It was a struggle because I didn't have anyone to talk to. It was just me sitting here painting. It's like, how do I do this? And I believe it was Steve that showed up first. And suddenly it's like, hey, I have someone to talk to. And so I got to talk to Steve, and then eventually Silent Mouse showed up. And and then the Mercenaries Kickstarter launch, and Steve jumps on with me to chat about it, and then I go to England and I actually get to meet up with him. So I was like, so when I get the news this morning, it's like I can't do anything. There's I can't go and just sit with him at the hospital. I can't I can't really even, I guess we could call or something, but come on, it's the 21st century. Nobody calls, we text. So he told me, and I did text, and we texted back and forth. So that's why it's just like, you know what? This. I can do this. And yeah. So anyways, I'm just kind of struggle bussing with this. I have been so frustrated lately. Just watching so many of my friends, for all intents and purposes, just get kicked in the nuts. Whether it's jobs, whether it's family, whether it's just, random struggles of life. And I don't like it. And I think I did this a little wrong. Okay, yeah, so it's only supposed to go to like the knee and the elbow joints. Alright, so I'm going to paint over the gray that I just put down, because I'm great at this. That's another thing that's frustrating. I don't think I'm very good at this. But then I get Silent Mouse, who got a mauler and is... And Malachi, I struggle with that too. I've got friends with depression. I've got friends that shouldn't have depression that have depression. No, I'm not calling you out. And I'm not trying to discount it, but it's like, there's so much for the person to be positive about. But they've got depression. They've got other stuff going on. Again, I'm not trying to discount it. Just it's the person you wouldn't think would have depression, and it does. Thanks, you're wrong. Eventually, I'll shill crap products. Don't worry. No, just kidding. Great. Now you got me self-conscious about thinning my paints. You're wrong. Actually, you say that, and I literally then it's like, here, I'm going to touch the brush into water because I don't thin the whole paint. I thin like the small section around what I'm using. So like here, like I'll thin this section. And then I'll grab some more water and I'll thin, like, as I go, as I'm using the paint. But sometimes I get it too thin. So there's that. And I'm now slopping over the... This guy's gonna frustrate me. Alright, let me phrase that. My paint style is going to frustrate me because I'm like, oh, I've got this section and it's all good. Nope, now I have to fix it. So anyways, that's why it's just like, yeah, I've got, like, I look at my life and it's not perfect and things are rough and the house is a mess because of me. And Peanut Gallery hates it. And so sometimes she doesn't like me very much. And everyone's like, oh, just clean the house. Yeah, it doesn't necessarily work that way. So, but overall, I mean, I do think that my life is in a good spot. I do think that I'm relatively blessed. There's a reason, or like, so playing our game of Battletech on Saturday. We hadn't eaten yet. Kim was ordering food. She's like, am I feeding everyone? And like a couple people are like, oh, well, I'll chip in. I'm like, no, you're not chipping in. Or like, you don't chip in. And the whole premise was they're unemployed at the moment. Not I can't do a lot, but I mean, I can order some food. I can paint a miniature. I can, or 4 miniatures, as it were. You know, I can do little things that might not be much, but hopefully it just brings a smile to the person and lets them take their mind off of it for a few minutes. So I have the whole set of Speed Paint 1.0. I've never learned to properly use them. Because that's the thing is like I need to just sit and practice, but I don't want to sit and practice. I want to just paint. I want to know that, oh, I got this project done. So I struggle, you know, trying to learn new techniques because I'm trying to I want things complete. Dear Lord, everyone is deciding to message. It's almost like it's the afternoon and everybody's suddenly off of work. So, anyhow. So, it's not that easy, Malachi, because again, it's a different technique. You've got to let speed paint sit longer before they're dry. You know, you don't have to do a lot of the layering and stuff, but you can't move on to a next color. You can't put one color on top of another, you know, very quickly because you have to sit and wait. Especially in my case, I've got the old 1.0 formula, and you risk reactivation if you put paint on top of it, where the speed paints will suddenly become I did some red speed paint once, and then I tried to put some white paint over it, and the speed paint just bled through. So trust me, it is not as simple as, even though that's how they try to sell the process. I mean, I get what you're saying. Don't get me wrong. I understand that there are, like, it's called speed paint for a reason. It's going to get you moving faster. But it is still a different technique. Yeah, see? So that's why I say I haven't taken the time to practice with them, because essentially I'm saying it's a different skill set. Yeah, Flyman, that's actually an interesting idea. That actually seems like, because you hit just you could do your greens, you could do your blacks, and then just hit it with brown. And I in my head I can see that working really well. I think what you're thinking of, Mundo, for a new technique is slap chop, which is like a weird combination of dry brush and speed paints. and zenithal priming. I mean, there's a lot that goes into it, and as I say all the time, you are adding and it's supposed to be fast, but it's like you're still adding like complicated steps. At least in my head, they're complicated. And then on top of that, like I work in. That's actually another point. Like especially with Slap Chop, I work in such a confined area that like literally the name Slap Chop is like I don't know if I want to. I don't know if I want to do that. Flan Man's got me feeling guilty about not thinning my paints. So, anyhow. So, I'll push back a little bit on dip and flick, because let's be honest, that's essentially what I do. The catch is that I'm not dipping the models, but I cover the entire model with a layer of wash. So it's effectively the same thing. I just didn't submerge it. So yeah, I know there's other techniques out there, and I want to learn some of them. But I don't want to learn all of them. Right. No, Malachi, I'm not saying you're doing it wrong. I'm just saying that it is a different technique from traditional painting. And so it does involve quote unquote relearning how to paint more or less. Actually, yeah, let's do this. All right, good. Okay, so yeah, exactly, Mundo. Everyone has their own unique style. I'm going to start mixing my custom colors to do shading and highlight the initial layer, which is fine. Like that's one reason that I like dropper bottles and such, because it makes that way easier. It makes it way easier for being able to replicate it. My main issue in that regards is I don't record anything. So I don't know exactly what colors I mixed. And so when I go back, it's just like, I think this is it. I don't know. Okay, this is not quite dry. I'm gonna leave this for a minute. I wanted to go in and hit the actuators. Now, Flan Man, is this what you're talking about? As far as chrome pens, I don't know. I just grabbed these at Hobby Lobby because, you know, it was $5. And I got gold and silver because the last time when I did, oh, that'll work. A 5cc syringe to, yeah, because then you can measure it exactly. When I did the Hatamoto Chief for Hungar, it had all this gold scroll work stuff all over it, and it looked like butt. It really did, and he was very happy with it. So I was very grateful there. Oh, and everyone, while you're here, hit the like button. I'd appreciate it. Hobby Lobby has one called Liquid Chrome. All right, I will look. My question there is, how fine of a tip does it give? Because like this, I managed to find 0.5 millimeter. Because if I'm doing stuff on mechs, they're tiny. They need tiny markers if you're going to do stuff like that. So that's why I got those, because I could actually get the 0.5 millimeter. Because everything else looked like straight up classic Sharpie in size. And that would not work for putting stuff on battle mechs. Oh, I am also proud of myself. I based it ahead of time. Seraphis. Yes, they should be in freedom units. What's wrong with this world? Good morning, sir. So, look, I prefer. Yeah, see, 1 millimeter I think is still too thick. I mean, I could be wrong, but let's be honest. How often does that happen? Yeah, I like to use the same measurements that got us to the moon. And by us, I mean Merca! I don't know if anyone here watches The Fat Electrician. But one of his early videos when he was doing just like 3-minute videos and you could knock them out like in no time. Did a video about how it was actually the imperial system that got us to the moon, and everyone's like, oh, well, it was all in meters and blah blah blah. And he's like, yeah, there was built-in roads that were measured in miles, and they built structures with concrete measured in cubic yards and stuff. And so it was a pretty great rant. And his new stuff is great. Don't get me wrong. I really like the new stuff he does. But yeah, he's gone from like 3-minute videos about like the American infantrymen or Marine sniper. Like it was like literally like because they all started out on TikTok. And now his videos are like an hour long. And just crazy detailed, and he's got great comedic timing. So if you want that, now it's mostly military, mostly pro-military, pro-American military, but dang if he's not entertaining. Yes, exactly, Malachi. We have the metric system because of pirates. Which I learned from the Fat Electrician. Because apparently Thomas Jefferson heard about this new measurement system out of France. And so he ordered these like sample things like, okay, so this is a kilogram or whatever. And pirates raided the ship and like stole them, or they sank or something. And oh, I misread that, Malachi. I just assumed you meant we don't have the metric system because of pirates, which would be the same effect. And anyways, so then Jefferson's just like, screw it, I don't care anymore. So that's why we're still on Imperial. But I was also like I did actually see something somewhere, and it made a lot of sense. Like for day-to-day use, Imperial makes sense. Yes, it's off. It's not quote unquote perfect. However, it is much more it's much more user friendly. Like this, like right here, width of your thumb. See, that's an inch. These blocks are an inch. A foot. Everybody has a feet, a foot or 2 feet or some combination of thereof. Maybe you don't have any. I don't know. But a foot is approximately the size of your foot. So if you want to rough something in, Imperial's great. Hey, nerds nerd. Good morning. You're wrong. I only see in the hex grid. Anyway, so yeah, there's a lot of really good reasons to use it. Now, Is it super accurate? No. But 9 times out of 10 for what we as humans need, does it get the job done? Sure does. So anyhow, there's my rant about, right, exactly, a yard is about 1 stride. You know, that, does anybody know how many meters tall they are? I'm 1.4 meters. No, you don't know that. 6 foot makes sense. Seriously, people. And you know I'm right. Oh, and Nerds Nerd, I don't know if you saw them, but I sent you pictures to make you jealous. Before anyone says otherwise, it's 1000% work appropriate. I'm pretending I didn't see them because it 10,000% worked. And I know what you said, Nerds Nerd, but I promise if you are ever in the area, you tell me and we'll get a game in. Okay, actually, you know what? I gotta show off these pictures because they're like, I can't believe I've got, actually, because we got 10 people here. It's worth showing now instead of when there was 1 person. Tell everybody, yeah, go back in time when, you know, when I was showing this, I know that I will be bringing a truck to haul the table away with me afterwards. That's fair. That's fair. Just realized I didn't send all the pictures because I got more pictures. Let's just do that. We're gonna send it here. And then I gotta go here. I know this is super exciting, folks. All right, so as you all know, I've got my fancy gaming table and I've got a whole bunch of the Hextech, Battletech terrain. And we finally got to play a game with it on Saturday. And my brother-in-law, hey, there's 12 people now. My brother-in-law was in town for the weekend. His wife's brother was getting married. And my brother-in-law didn't want to go to the wedding, so he just hung out with us for a few days. But I was working, so like, I mean, he didn't have his car, didn't really have much else to do. So I'm like, here, I have, like, you can paint this stuff. And so, like, the hills, this big building, which we'll get to in a second, he painted all of those. Now, these buildings are the Hextech ones that come pre-painted. I do want everyone to pay attention to this right here. So these are out of Alpha Strike, these trees. See, nerd. I told you these would be good. So for this, the problem is I don't have enough of them. So we did count the forests that were printed on the maps, but otherwise we ignored any terrain on the map. The only terrain that counted was the actual physical terrain. But yeah, so then there's our big centerpiece model. But what was funny is, so these trees, my brother-in-law, while we were playing, put a shadow cat up here, like on this spot exactly. Well, this is a 6-foot long table, so there's our trees. But a buddy of mine, actually this guy right here, ended up on this end of the table, literally could not see the mech that was behind these trees. So it was great. And my friend got shot. He's like, wait, where did that come from? And it was great. It was so much fun. So anyway, so I've got to get some trees. I got to get more stuff painted. Like, these 4 hills that we have on the table is like 10% of the hills that my brother-in-law actually painted. And they're great, and I'm upset because I'm not gonna paint mine as good. The maps are just the neoprene maps from Catalyst. They're very nice. They made a good look for the board, but we're gonna be doing something different in the future. Here's just some more angles. Here's a close-up of the hill. So again, just nice. Looks like a hill. This we said was a hyperpulse generator station. Here is some of the game being played coming from the opposite end. This is the hand of my friend who got shot. This is my son. This is my seat over here. Brother-in-law's over here. Another shot. All right, and then a close-up of the building. So this literally took like 7 days to print, I think. Whatever. It was a long time. Because the base piece, you had to print 3 of them. Then you had to print this layer, and then this piece of the tower, and then the little antenna section. I painted that all at once as well. And my brother-in-law graciously painted this for me. And I'm so excited. This is great. Oh, I absolutely love this. So, anyway, so the scenario was capture the hyperpulse generator. The way we set it up is these two buildings back here, these two buildings back here were all secondary objectives, but this was the primary objective. And so everybody got APCs, not official APCs. They couldn't shoot. They're essentially, they were tokens, but you could also shoot them and destroy them. And if you had an APC in base contact with either one of the secondary objectives or the primary objective, the secondary objectives would get you 1 point per turn. The primary objective would get you 3 points per turn. As long as you had an APC in contact and your opponent, the opposing team, did not. We played to 20 points, and that took us about 2 hours, and it was great fun. I absolutely loved doing this. It was great. It was a very different experience. Because we're playing across a 6-foot table, I said, "Oh, we should go with why did my brain just turn off? Double movement, double range on everything." That was a mistake. But otherwise it was cool. I have not played Battletech like this ever. So yeah, so the next thing is I need more trees. I need a better water system. I kind of want to make like some giant hill pieces out of like just like insulating foam. Just so like I could make this whole section like 1 or 2 levels higher or something like that. I don't know. We'll see. But regardless, it was fun. We had a wonderful time. As I've let all of my paint dry. That's okay. I had to let Mex dry too. But yeah, it ended up being great fun. And that's the funny thing, like, so the way that we play Battletech is, and actually you're wrong. Hey, yes, it's Luke. It is, so Battletech, I mean, I've been playing it for 35-ish years. It is literally one of my favorites. But actually, you're wrong. This is more of a comment directed at you. So the way that we play, like one of us in our group will say, "All right, I'm making up the scenario." And we'll just put something together. It's not, it is not play tested at all. Which is probably a problem. But that's the thing, is that like even with this, so in my plan, everybody got 2 APCs, and if they died, well, then they could come back on the next turn. Well, the problem ended up being, A, they didn't die fast enough. B, some of the buildings were a little too close and so were easy to get to. And then C, there were too many of them. So you didn't really have to decide, like, and because we were playing teams, you didn't have to really decide how are you going to how are you going to deploy the APCs? So there were some problems, but that's the other thing, is that we try different things. Sometimes they work. A lot of times there's some major flaw in our scenario. And so yeah, but regardless, we just get together and we just have some fun. It's not uber competitive. It's not, we don't leave angry at the end of the night, usually. I did feel bad for one of my friends the last time we played. We only had, or he only brought 2 mechs in the points allotted. And I got 2 headshots in a row. With ERPPCs, or clan ERPPCs, I should say. And then the next 2 hours, he just had to sit there. Which I actually give him props for sitting there. Instead of being like, all right, guys, I'm going home because I'm already dead. Nope. He sat there and he hung out with us. It was great. But more my point is, we didn't worry so much about, because like we'll make restrictions, like you can bring mechs from any era, or 3025 only, or only, or no clan mechs, no quads, because one of my friends really likes quads. And so sometimes, or a lot of times, they just annoy us. And so sometimes the guy making the scenario is going to be like, you know what? No quads this week. Okay. But the thing is, like, my friend actually, like, I don't think he minds when we do that, because number one, we don't do it that often. But he's got such a good mind for the games that it's really interesting to just watch how he'll adapt and what he'll do instead. So it's like sometimes playing with the restrictions is better than playing without. So keep that in mind too, folks. Use the restrictions as a way to, to try something new, to expand. Maybe get a little better. I'm still bad at it. Like me, I hadn't even picked out what units I was bringing until like everyone was literally sitting at the table wondering where I was at. Like, I'm not done yet. Sorry that I, I'm hosting and had all sorts of other things I was trying to get ready for us. I wasn't actually upset. It was just kind of funny. So yeah, short answer, you're wrong, is don't stress about, well, can I do this or can I do that? You know, just find things that you want to do. Find things that your group wants to do, or just like put something together and say, hey group, we're going to try this today. And you'll be surprised at how fun it can be, even if you do it completely wrong. Yeah, we talked about that a little earlier, Mundo. Kind of a shock. I mean, I would call it a shock, except for the fact that, let's be honest, he was like 1,000 years old. Like, he was old before Star Wars. And Star Wars is as old as I am. So I am grateful that he got a nice, long life. That's how I look at the James Earl Jones situation. That's true. That's true. Russell M. Nelson turned 100. First time a leader of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints has ever reached 100 years old. And the crazy thing is, outside of the fact that, let's be honest, he looks 100. Like, looks it. But he is still just smart and with it. You know, just crazy to think that he's been crazy to think that anyone's 100 years old. Like, I'm not even half that, and I'm like, oh my gosh, that seems so very old. I'm not sure, but I think both of my grandmas got into their 90s. As I said earlier, both of my parents are in their 80s. So did my son... Oh, no. He did not moon it. He got his wisdom teeth out instead. So he's been rather... not... occupied the last few days. I know. So we'll see if / when we get down there, if they're still available. Hoping the paint sticks well enough. Because apparently the primer didn't quite hit that part of the arm. So yeah. That's essentially been, well, my week has been work. I finished the work week with 69 and a half hours on the clock. And yes, I'm paid hourly. Yes, I'm going to brag about this a little bit. That's part of the reason that I didn't stream this morning. That's why I'm streaming this afternoon. Because I needed to crash. Yeah, I know Seraphis, but again, he was like super old. Like almost as old as Malachi. Apparently Malachi has left us. Which is fine. This is just hangout and paint stream. I am all right, I think I need to mention this so that I make it happen. I need to do a live stream on Thursday. I don't want to say exactly why yet. but I want to do it. But I have to see if some people will join me. So for right now, it is still sort of up in the air, but just know I want to do a stream on Thursday. It'd be in the evening. The evening my time. So morning for Seraphis. Sleepy time for Steve Cross. Who knows for the East Coasters, but I'm going to try something. So keep an eye out. If there's a stream scheduled for Saturday or for Thursday, you'll know something's going down. And Mundo, yes, he got all 4 wisdom teeth pulled. Sorry if that was a little too vague for everyone. All right. Well, look at that. Okay, so at the moment, I am still kind of tired, but I needed to start this. I needed to do this stream. So I'm glad I did. But that does also mean that at the moment, I've reached, in my head, what I'm calling a stopping point. I also want to take some time, let it sit, let the colors dry and cure so that I kind of know better what they're going to look like. Again, we got a Black Knight, got a Stooping Hawk, we got another Stooping Hawk. Eventually, we might get a Fire Scorpion if I can get the legs to finish printing. I think I might just have a bad spot on the printer, which will be annoying if that's the case, but clearly parts are replaceable. So, all right, so I'm going to go ahead and end it here. everybody, oh my gosh, I got 10 likes on the video. Thanks, everyone. Everybody, thank you so much for hanging out. You know, I'm gonna make my own cheesy appeal that was nowhere near as good. But so I mentioned a few minutes ago that the head of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, Russell M. Nelson, just turned 100 today. And leading up to this, he told everybody that just like Jesus Christ talked about, you know, like the parable of the lost sheep, and that the shepherd would go and he would find the one, even though he knew where the 99 were. That's what this stream, in retrospect, I didn't plan it this way, but that's what this stream was about. It wasn't about me. It wasn't about showing off, but it was, what's something that I can do for the one, who I realized there was something that I could do. So go find your one. Go find somebody that you can do something for. You know, maybe it's just a phone call. Maybe it's a text message. Maybe it's a funny meme. Whatever it is, go find someone today. Do something nice, and you know, be a little bright ray of sunshine in the world, and help make it a little bit better. So, everybody, thanks for watching. I've got videos planned. I've got videos coming. Again, hopefully we can do the hopefully we can do the Thursday night stream. But otherwise, everybody, I'm going to end the stream because otherwise, you know me, I'm going to ramble. But have a wonderful day. What, Mover? Too late. Anyways, everybody, have a great rest of your day, and we'll talk to you soon. Thanks for watching. Bye.